Okay, so we're going to talk about how to introduce yourself. Now, this can be like something like this where you're on a virtual networking event and everyone's like, go ahead and introduce yourself and share what you do. Or this could be if you go to an in-person event and they do where you have to stand there and introduce yourself for the 1 minute. Have you guys done that where everybody's like, oh gosh, this is the worst part of having to share what I do? But this can also be like, you're out and you're talking to somebody and they're like, oh, what do you do? Or you're at a holiday party and you meet somebody new and they're like, oh, what do you do? And how do you answer that? And so, my first business was an industry that was in direct sales. So there were tons of people who did what I did, right? Who, if I said the company, they were like, oh, yeah, we know what that is, right? Or let's say we have somebody out here, she's a realtor. Let's say you're a realtor and you're like, oh, I'm a realtor. And people are like, oh, yeah, I know what that is, right? Or, oh, I do insurance. Yeah, I know what that is. So, what we want to do is not have people associate us with our job title. Okay. So the real key is who are you looking for? That's how you introduce yourself. All right. So for example, let's say I was a realtor. Okay. So rather than saying, hi, my name is Tara, I'm with Keller Williams Realty, and I've been with them for, 10 years. And I'd love to help people find a home. Right. And now everybody's like, all right, we know that. Instead, I'm going to be very specific and it can change. So follow this through. I'm going to be very specific at this event, specifically who I want you to introduce me to. So, for example, I might say, hey, my name is Tara Garrity, and I help first time homebuyers navigate through the first time home buying process to find their perfect starter home. And so, someone that is looking for their starter home, I'm your girl. So, what happens if I just say I'm a realtor, right? My brain goes dead. I go, okay, I don't know anybody who needs a realtor, right? But if you say I'm specifically looking for somebody who's looking to buy their first starter home, my brain starts to think about, I wonder who I know who's looking for their first starter home, right? Let's say I do life insurance. I might say, hi, my name is Tara, and I help people who have life insurance through their job, but probably don't have enough coverage or are worried that if they got laid off or downsized, they would no longer have life insurance. And so I'm looking for people to help build more life insurance that's protected regardless of their job situation, right? So you want to be very, very specific. Who do you help? And that might change at different times. So, for example, I was in the skincare and beauty industry. So I would introduce myself to people. And in the spring, I might say, I'm looking for brides to help them with their pre wedding makeup, right? In the fall, I might say something like, I'm looking for women who struggle with acne and they need help with acne. In the holidays, I might say, I'm looking for people who want to learn how to like really enhance their glamour for their holiday parties. So it wasn't always the same at every event, right? But it was very specific on who I was looking to help versus what my job title was. Because people don't care what your job title is. It doesn't help them figure out who to refer you to. And we see this in the Hey Girl You Can when we do our networking. We go into our breakout rooms and I'll say, oh, so, tell me, what do you do? And people lead with what they do. And if you don't know what that is, like I've sometimes had people say like, "Oh, I'm a strategic social marketing manager coach," thing. And I'm like, "What is that?" Right? Like, what is it that you do? If somebody has ever said to you, "What is that?" That means you don't ever want to introduce yourself that way again, right? So you can, if you really love your title, you can use your title, but I would follow it up, follow it after who you help. All right. Who is that ideal person? And can that, when you introduce yourself that way, can the person listening instantly, they need to be able to get two things. They need to instantly go, oh, I totally get what she does. And I totally get who she's looking to meet. Even if they don't know someone right there at that moment, I totally get who she's looking to meet. Right. And you can do this in any single industry. And if you're not sure, this is like where if you are in Hey Girl, you can. One of the things that you can do is pop into the Facebook group and be like, hey, this is, if I introduce myself this way, what would you get from that? And see what people say. Are they getting what you're saying? Because sometimes you need an outside person to evaluate because you already know what you do. You already know who your ideal client is, right? And so we want an outside person who can say, oh, yeah, I totally get what that is. I totally get what you do. This also is really key because it helps separate you if you're at an event where there are multiple people who do what you do. Okay. So for example, let's say you're an event and you're a personal trainer, right? And there's three other personal trainers there and they all introduce themselves as, hey, I'm Tara and I'm a personal trainer. Well, now it sounds like you have a lot of competition, right? But if you introduce yourself and you say, "Hi, my name is Tara and I work with, new moms who want to get back into their pre-baby shape." Now, what happens is we tend to think, "Well, I don't want to do that because then I'm going to discount everybody who's not a new mom." Right? But actually, what it does is people know you're a personal trainer. They know that you can help people. So I can say, I work with all types of people, but right now I'm specifically, I'm looking for my name is Tara. I work with anybody who really wants to be in the best shape of their life. But right now I'm really focused on new moms who want to, because if you just say anybody, I can't refer you to anybody. But I can refer you to a new mom who I know who wants to get back into shape. So rather than being afraid of, okay, I'm going to discount people, what we really want to start to think of is I'm teaching people how to look for the people that I want to meet. Because remember, with networking, and this is so key, it's not doing business with the person that you meet. The key with networking is connecting with somebody, building a know, like, and trust factor so that she is willing to introduce you to her 500 people that she knows. The average person knows 500 people. So if you're an event and you connect with just even three people, that just expanded your network by 1,500 people. Okay. So you want to think, who is she going to introduce me to? One person can be a catalyst to transform your business if they know, like, trust you, and they have a circle that they're willing to introduce you to. Okay. So one of the things that we're going to do today is kind of practice that intro with the way that we just talked about. All right.